Hello, welcome back to Morning Ray. I'm your host, Lan or Allana. My apologies for this episode being up late. I had a crazy week last week. I had 17 classes that I was teaching and just a lot of work requirements, a lot of work commitments, and then I was hosting Hot Girl Sweat on Saturday and just wanted everything to move smoothly, and Sunday I just needed to chill out just a little bit and act like a 25-year-old girl for a moment. But nonetheless, we are here, we are back, we are recording, and today's episode is all about how to become more confident and stopping the urge to people please. I feel like this is something I have mastered pretty rightfully so in the past year. More so even the past few months. I would say like since November, December, I feel like I have really just mastered that. So I'm here to give you all my tips. We're going to discuss what people pleasing is, why it's holding you back and low-key draining you, and how to build confidence, and kind of giving you little takeaways and some homework to practice, because if you feel like you are just continuously saying yes to things that you don't want to say yes to, or trying to justify the reason for saying no, apologizing for pretty much everything and anything, feeling like you're walking on eggshells around people, feeling like you're basing your worth off of what other people think of you and their opinions, or you feel the constant urge to ask other people for their opinions when making decisions, this episode is for you. And if you have a girlfriend, a friend, whoever, maybe younger sister, older sister, who you think this would benefit, this is your time to send it on over, share this episode with them, and maybe listen to it together, go on your hot girl walk, put this episode on. I got you, sister. But I am so excited. I leave for Miami in about a week and a half. I leave next week in 10 days. And I'm so excited, you guys. I haven't been to Miami since 2023. I'm going to support my friend Lauren in her High Rocks competition. We're making a little girls' weekend out of it. And I think it's going to be so much fun. And I'm excited to be in the sun and in the warm weather, because Toronto hasn't been that warm. So I'm so excited about that. And to recap on Hot Girl Sweat, it was so much fun. It was the first time that I hosted Hot Girl Sweat and was teaching, and I really had such a fun experience. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel teaching and not participating in the class as a student this time around, but it was so much fun, and I loved having the Dermalogica team there. It was just a super special full circle moment, and it was so lovely to get to meet any of you who did come to Hot Girl Sweat. My current faves. I am currently obsessed with the banana bread matcha from Forget Me Not. If you live in Toronto, then you know. And some people think it's overhyped, but like at the end of the day, you guys, it's just matcha. Like it's not that deep. I really love it. I also got this bubble initial necklace from Melanie Ald. I just put the little charm or pendant on my Mug and David necklace, and I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute, and I honestly love the little bling. I lost my letter A initial necklace from Orate, New York back in November. It was around Thanksgiving, and I've been trying to find an A necklace since then, and I just thought that this was the perfect piece, and it didn't break the bank. I think it was like $50. It's gold for meal, so it's not solid gold, but I thought she was cute. I also got these little stud earrings with flat backs for my thirds, because I had some studs in there and I kept getting ear infections in those piercings. So I got these with flat backs so my ears have room to breathe, and they're really cute. I've never had, well actually when I got them pierced I had little diamonds or cubics, whatever, in my thirds, but I haven't had a stone in my thirds in a while, and I kind of love how it looks. And I actually ordered a little marquee shaped stud for my second piercing hole to stack a little bit, to have a little stud stack. I've also been really loving the insanely early mornings that I've been doing when I teach in the mornings. I teach the early morning block on Thursdays at LSDR here in Toronto, and I honestly kind of really love it. I mean, I hate and I love it because it's so insanely early. I wake up at 5 a.m., but I feel so accomplished, and I kind of love the vibe that my morning girls bring, and teaching in the morning is such a different energy and kind of dynamic than teaching in the evening, so it's a fun little switch up. But those are my current faves. I'm going to take a quick little ad break to talk about Lumi. I have been on the hunt for a deodorant that works, that's clean, that has, no aluminum, nothing like that. And their whole body deodorant, you guys, I think whole body deodorant is the whole big thing over here. But if you ask me, nothing stings more than being fearful that you smell. Like, it's literally my biggest fear in my entire life. And that's truly like why I'm so excited to tell you about the Lumi whole body deodorant. Unlike other certain deos, Lumi is powered by mandelic acid, which I actually do love mandelic acid. I use it all the time on my face for treatments, but mandelic acid is to help control odor in a whole new way. Lumi delivers outrageous 72-hour odor control everywhere from your pits to your feet, and yes, even your privates. In fact, it was patients' concerns about private part odor that originally inspired the OB/GYN who invented Lumi. Fast forward 6 years, her game-changing whole body deodorant now has over 300,000 5-star reviews from people like me who are feeling super confident from head to toe. I have a special offer for you guys. You can get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code and link. You can use code Allana at lumideodorant.com. That's LUMEDEODORANT.com. I personally really have loved my Lumi deodorant experience. It's been so seamless, and I love the smell. This one is the toasted coconut. I love a coconut, a vanilla. They even do have a vanilla scent, but I just love how easy it is. I love that it helps balance the pH on my skin, and I can use it anywhere and everywhere. I love that it was created by an OB/GYN, so I know that it is safe for anything. Lumi starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with exclusive code, and if you combine the 15% off with already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. You can use code Allana for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code Allana at LUMEDEODORANT.com. Tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. Thank you, Lumi, for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray. What is people pleasing? People pleasing isn't kindness. It's truly just fear in disguise. So what is people pleasing? People pleasing is when you say yes, but you really want to say no. It's apologizing for everything. It's needing validation. It's avoiding conflict or confrontation. And most importantly, it's basing your worth off of how others feel about you. And I feel like a lot of women are prone to people pleasing because we don't want anyone to feel bad. We want to keep things good. We want people to like us. And we think by pleasing them and doing things that benefit them, even if they put us at a disbenefit, it is better than standing our ground, communicating, setting boundaries, and voicing our opinions. And while people pleasing might feel safe, it's truly limiting you more than you think. As someone who has, for the most part, I would say I'm not 100% out of people pleasing, and I definitely still have a tendency to people please, but as someone who has continuously worked on overcoming people pleasing and learning how to set boundaries and make choices on my own and to communicate that effectively, people pleasing can really cause low confidence. It can cause you to miss opportunities. It can cause you to feel burnt out, a loss of self-identity, And you start to become a supporting character in your life instead of embodying that main character energy that we always talk about here on the pod. When you keep saying yes to things that you don't want to do, when you're always playing peacekeeper, when you're shrinking yourself to make others feel more comfortable, you're losing little pieces of yourself. And you think it's okay because it's just here, just you're doing it this one time, but those little things do add up. They compound. You start forgetting what you want. You second guess your decisions. You don't speak up even when you know you should and you want to. And your confidence starts to take a nap because you're too busy people pleasing the whole world and you're not thinking about yourself. And no, it's not selfish. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's a necessity. So, confidence. I think confidence and people pleasing go hand in hand, hence why I'm discussing them together in today's episode. But I have learned that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It isn't this magical thing that some girls or guys just have. It's not about being loud or outgoing. In fact, I think if you're super loud and just like want to talk all the time, it can sometimes err on the side of arrogance. And I feel like I kind of have learned this in dating, and I used to think I wanted like a super confident, outgoing, loud person, but sometimes that just comes across as arrogant, and I don't like that. I don't think you need those qualities in order to be confident. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a super loud, outgoing person, but I would say I'm a pretty confident, self-secure person, and it's because I've chosen to trust myself. I have taken moments, baby steps, to start to build trust with myself by choosing myself and choosing to put myself first and learning to trust my judgment again and to trust my gut instinct and just my inner knowing. So let's talk about how to become more confident and build that confidence and stop people pleasing without feeling like you're turning your whole world upside down and you're completely changing into a new person instantaneously. Yes, we got it. Okay, so we have 4 key tips in order to build confidence, okay? Because we're not born with confidence, we build it, okay? 4 tips. Number 1, start saying no softly but clearly. Saying things like, I'd love to help, but I just don't have the capacity to right now. Not this time, but I'll keep it in mind for the future. You're allowed to say no without writing a novel of excuses. You do not need to justify the reason as to why you're saying no, and I'm the biggest culprit of this, and I've been catching myself feeling this immense desire to explain and justify the reason I have decided to do something to other people. And every single time I have felt this desire lately, I literally cut myself off. I'm like, nope, Allana, you're not talking. We don't need to justify. It can just be what it is. You are allowed to say no to things. You don't have to justify or provide an immense excuse. You also, like, when you're just stating your opinion, you don't have to justify as to why you have that opinion. You can just merely state that opinion. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. Just own what you said and say it clearly. And I'm not saying to be like aggressive with it. Like, obviously, be kind, be sweet, be understanding, have capacity to understand other people's emotions, but you don't need to walk on eggshells when explaining or saying your answer. Number 2, ask yourself what you actually want. Pause before you say and ask, am I doing this because I want to or because I feel like I should? If nobody got upset, what would I choose? Really start tuning in to your own desires, not just others' expectations. This is all about getting back in touch with your ability to decide independently. And as someone who has continuously and continues to encourage herself to make decisions about anything and everything independently without having to go to my mom, my dad, my sister, friends, whoever, for their opinions, their input, whether it's a lip gloss or whether or not I should go out with a guy or not, or if I should make a decision in my career, I've started to just make a decision on my own. I know that I'm capable of gathering all the information needed in order to make a decision. I am learning to trust my confidence in my decision-making abilities again, and to understand and be confident and hold power in the fact that I know what's best for me. My gut knows right. Anytime that I have gone against my gut instinct and have either by myself gone against it and ignored and chose like a different thought that's come forward, or I've decided to go against my gut instinct because a friend or someone else gave me a different opinion or judgment, I always wish I had just stuck with the gut instinct. And I'm encouraging myself to remind myself of that whenever I feel the desire to go against it. Your gut is always right. It's like when you do a multiple choice test, the first answer you pick is usually the right one. Like, don't go back and second guess yourself because you'll probably then get the wrong answer. Take that theory, take that mindset, that outlook, and apply it into life. Obviously, there's always exceptions to the rules. Sometimes we're not right at the beginning, and that's okay. That's a learning lesson. We learn, we live, and we learn, and that's a part of life. But learn to trust yourself and learn to make decisions without other people's input. Number 3, reframe the guilt. Setting boundaries really feels weird at first, and you might feel guilty. That's okay. I for sure felt guilty and still do sometimes, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And honestly, lately, whenever I'm thinking about setting boundaries and why I'm setting them, I've been reflecting a lot. And I don't know, maybe this isn't healthy to do, but I really try to think about situations from all different perspectives and scenarios. And maybe it's because I'm an empath and I feel things deeply, and I'm also like, maybe it's a perfectionist, maybe it's the people pleasing, I don't know. But I've just been like analyzing situations that have happened in my life and the events that led up to that, and just looking at it from my perspective, maybe the other party's perspective, an outside perspective, and giving myself confirmation and like looking at those different perspectives just from like within me, not having discussion with someone else. Live, laugh, love ordering your groceries, because why can none never find anything in the grocery store, and why am I paying a man to do this when they still can't find it? He just called me sir. I'm a girl. Thank you very much. Oh, he sent me a cute little sad pouting emoji. Well, there goes a change in my dinner plans. I really wanted to make these Greek dill turkey meatballs. They're my friend Steph's recipe. I was just craving them because they're so fresh. But I guess that will have to wait for another time. So, anyways, when we set boundaries, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means, and you feel okay when you set boundaries, and you feel a little guilty for doing so, especially as a chronic people pleaser. That feeling doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. And as someone who just explained this, who feels like they're doing something wrong, it is not. It just means you're doing something different than what you're used to, and that difference is where the growth lives. Guilt doesn't always mean you're doing something wrong. It might just mean you're doing something different, and that's okay. Normalize the discomfort when setting new boundaries. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, like I always say. Like, truly get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Breaking people-pleasing patterns is going to feel uncomfortable, but that just means that you are growing, because you're breaking a pattern of behavior, a pattern of thoughts that you are so used to going through, and a way in which you are used to acting in, that this new way of thinking, of acting, of holding yourself and conducting yourself feels foreign. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but that just means you are moving in the right direction. And when you're setting boundaries, you don't need to do so in a rude way. You can communicate it nicely. Like, do I just saying how I said in tip number 1, I'd love to help, but I just don't have the capacity right now. Not this time, but keep me in mind for the future. I'm so flattered you asked me for this, or you wanted to include me in this, but I just can't right now. You don't have to go further in explanation than that. Like, and those are still very like classy, clear, kind, considerate ways to communicate and set a boundary with someone. Or maybe it's like in a friendship and you don't like something or a way your friend has been acting. So you could say something along the lines of, I really appreciate where you're coming from, and I know you mean well when doing this, but in doing so, it hurts me. And I would appreciate if you didn't do XYZ. Simple. Done. There's nothing rude about it. You are allowed to set those boundaries. If anything, by you not communicating and setting that boundary, you are being rude to yourself. You are failing to people please towards yourself, if you want to look at it that way and reframe it that way just a little bit. But just know that you need to reframe the guilt. I'm all about reframing. You guys know I always talk about it on the pod. My therapist has literally drilled it into my head. But get comfortable with uncomfortable. Get comfortable with setting boundaries and standing up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your younger self. Like, set that boundary, girl. Tip number 4. I feel like this episode is being a lot shorter than I thought it would be, but I guess sometimes it's nice to have a short and sweet episode. Do tiny little confidence challenges with yourself. Like, don't do too much. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. Just start small. Tiny little acts of self-trust build confidence, and that is real confidence. Little moments like building confidence build the I've got me mindset. The more you challenge yourself and encourage yourself to make decisions on your own, set and communicate boundaries, stand up for yourself, remove the need to apologize for everything, the more that compounds, and over time, you will become more confident, self-secure, have higher self-esteem, higher self-value. And this is coming from the person that was the major people pleaser, that really people pleased and never lived for herself. She continuously was concerned, she as in me, I was continuously concerned with how other people perceived me, if what I was going to do was going to make so-and-so upset, living and making judgments and liking things because I knew that's what other people would like, and then I would feel like I fit in and that is accepted. But the minute I started to break down those beliefs and I started challenging them is when I started to feel more secure in myself. I started to trust my intuition more. I felt more confident walking into a room. I felt more confident about my decisions. And it also taught me to move in silence, to just do what I want to do and let the results and the actions speak for themselves. I stopped telling everyone my moves. I stopped having so many conversations about who I was dating, who I was talking to, what was going on in terms of business, what business deals I had, what I was deciding to do. Because anytime since I made that decision to kind of just keep things to myself, anytime I went against that, it just proved that I shouldn't have shared like that until it was a confirmed and done in the past sort of thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe you want to debate this conversation with me in my DMs. My DMs are always open and I would always love to chat with you guys. Maybe DM me, or maybe I'll make a little thread in our Hot Girls Hangout broadcast channel on Instagram, speaking about confidence tips and forgoing people pleasing and whatnot. But I want to hear, like, what are your little confidence wins? But in terms of doing tiny confidence challenge, these are some challenge examples that you may incorporate. Number 1, don't apologize unnecessarily for 24 hours. So don't say sorry if you don't actually need to. And think about it. You probably don't 99% of the times that you say sorry need to say sorry. Voice your opinion first. Don't be afraid to share your opinion, to speak out, to say what you want to say. Your words deserve to be heard. Obviously, do so in a respectful manner. That's obvious. But don't just make yourself small. You are allowed to exist. You are allowed to exist. You're allowed to voice your opinions. You're allowed to make your own judgment calls. You don't need to justify. Another little tiny confidence challenge is to respond to someone saying, I need to think about that before giving an answer. You don't have to give an answer right away. You don't have to give them the answer that you think they want to hear. You can give them the answer that you want to make. It's plain and simple. Say no to a small request that feels like you want to say no to without explaining why. You really don't need to justify your answers or your choices to anyone. And the last little tiny confidence challenge that you can do is to make a decision on your own. It can be as small as deciding what you want for dinner. It can be as small as what workout class you're going to do, buying a new top. Maybe it's going on a date with a guy, whatever it is. Like, make a decision on your own, own it, and be confident in it. You were not born to be small, silent, or agreeable. Confidence is truly about choosing yourself, even when it feels unfamiliar, and it's going to feel unfamiliar at first if you are so used to people pleasing and putting others before yourself. It's knowing when you don't need to be liked by everyone in order to be worthy. You do not need to be easygoing all the time. It is not cool or hot to be the chill girl, and this goes with dating as well. You don't need to be the chill girl. The chill girl never wins. You don't need to be agreeable to be loved. I'm going to say that one again. You do not need to be agreeable to be loved. In fact, men actually like women who voice their opinions. They want someone who can hold their own. Remember that. You don't need to explain every no, every boundary, every choice. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to choose you, even if it doesn't necessarily sit well with everyone else. And it's not always going to sit well with everyone else. And you have to learn to just be okay with that. Confidence isn't about being loud. It's truly about just being real and authentically yourself. And I promise the more you show up as yourself and the more you own it, the more you gain confidence and take your control back and encourage yourself to just trust your inner knowing, your gut instinct, the more power and the more peace you're going to feel. So I have a little challenge for you guys to do for this week. It's your homework. I'm giving you homework. I'm your teacher this week. We're giving you some homework. Open up your journal, write down a new diary entry, a new journal entry, and I want you to decide what is one thing you are going to say no to this week. What is something you always say yes to that you regret instantly and always dread and hate the fact that you say yes? Or what is one boundary you've been afraid to set and I want you to set it? I want you to decide what that boundary is, and I want you to practice speaking to yourself in your mirror how you plan to set that boundary to that person, when maybe it's at work, maybe it's a partner, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's your parents, maybe siblings, and set that boundary. Speak up. Like, use your words, open your mouth, say so confidently, don't take it back, don't say sorry. I hope that doesn't offend you at the end. Just say what you need to say. You don't need to justify. You don't need to apologize. If you feel like you could relate to this episode in any sort of way, share it with your girls, send it to the people pleasers in your life, or I would love if you could leave a review showing your support for the podcast. That's how you can help support the show and how we can make things bigger, better, and brighter over here. You guys know I appreciate all the things so much. I appreciate whenever you share that you're listening to the pod on Instagram stories and reels and TikToks. I love reading your DMs. I love reading the reviews. I love reading the comments on Spotify. And if you ever need a little reminder of who you are, come back to this episode anytime. I truly got you always. If you have any requests as to what topics you would love on the pod, please do let me know. But thank you so much for listening. Again, I apologize that this episode was up late, but I'll do my best to have next week's episode up on time. I love you guys so much, and we'll chat soon. Bye, guys.